Rain taps gently against the tall windows of the Kingsley estate. It's Christmas Eve, but the mansion is silent. No laughter, no music, just the sound of a ticking clock echoing down marble corridors. Lucy stands at the kitchen sink, her back straight, hands motionless inside warm dishwater. She doesn't flinch when the thunder rolls outside. She doesn't glance toward the grand hallway where faint voices drift, voices that do not see her, do not speak to her. She is the maid, the help, the invisible thread in this house of heavy gold and polished grief. In the dining room, a long table is set for 20. Candles flicker, silver clinks softly. A Christmas feast rests untouched. Turkeys, wine, greens, desserts lined up like ornaments. At the head of the table, Mr. Elias Kingsley sits like a statue carved from frost. Billionaire, widower, powerhouse. He doesn't smile. He doesn't speak. His guests do the talking for him, hedge fund partners, politicians, sons of sons. They laugh in suits too tight with pride and hands too soft with money. Their wives wear glass heels and speak with razors under their tongues. None of them look toward the children. At the far end of the table sit the twins, Adam and Ava, 8 years old, non-verbal, fragile, small, shoulders hunched in Christmas sweaters too big. They don't eat. They don't blink. They sit in silence, like ornaments too, forgotten, dust-covered. Lucy watches from the doorway. She was not asked to join. She was not even acknowledged. But she stands anyway, steady as breath. In her hands, a folded napkin, the one Ava dropped on the floor. She holds it still. Her eyes are on the children, always on the children, because no one else looks, no one else sees. The room buzzes with the arrogance of men. Someone makes a crude joke. A woman laughs too loud. Champagne spills. Elias barely moves. But Lucy sees it. The flicker. The microsecond where his hand curls into a fist beneath the tablecloth. The way his eye twitches at the sound of Ava choking softly on nothing at all. A dry hiccup of a child ignored. And then, nothing. Stillness again. Lucy breathes deep and steps away. In the hallway she kneels, opens her small brown bag, pulls out a tin box, wrapped in cloth. She places 2 gingerbread cookies in a handkerchief. Simple. Homemade. Not perfect. She walks softly, barefoot now, to the library, where the children are usually sent after dinner. It's cold in there. They are on the floor, legs curled beneath them like fawns. Ava stares at the window. Adam rocks slightly, thumb near his mouth. Lucy doesn't speak. She kneels, slowly, opens the cloth, holds the cookies out like communion. The children glance at her. Nothing more. But they don't turn away. She places the cookies gently between them, then rests her palms on the carpet, just beside theirs. No sound. No sudden movement. Only presence. Only breath. She hums, soft, low, quiet. A lullaby. Not loud enough to disturb the ghosts in this house, but deep enough to settle the ones in their chest. Adam tilts his head. Ava shifts closer. Lucy closes her eyes. And in that room of books and absence, something cracks open, quietly, like ice melting from the edges of an old pond. They don't eat the cookies, but they don't cry. That's enough. That's everything. The next morning, snow dusts the estate like powdered sugar. Lucy is back in the kitchen before sunrise, baking rolls. Her hands move with purpose, with prayer. The flour on her palms is soft as her hush-toned song. From the hallway, the staff chatter. They joke about the party, the guests, the lack of tip. No one mentions Lucy. No one ever does. Mr. Kingsley enters the room. The room stiffens. He doesn't speak, doesn't greet, only walks toward the glass coffee maker, pours himself a cup, then pauses. His gaze lingers on Lucy for 1 full second. She doesn't turn. He walks away, but she knows he saw her. That night, Christmas dinner is louder. The guests more drunk, the children more silent. Lucy stands again in the doorway, invisible, until the moment everything stops, until Elias rises. His voice cuts through the laughter like a blade. She stays. Everyone turns. Lucy freezes. She's not the help tonight, he says, without looking at her. Act like you're mine. A gasp breaks somewhere. A fork drops. Someone coughs. The children look up. First time all night. Lucy doesn't move. She stares at him, and he meets her eyes for the first time since she came into this house 2 months ago. For the first time he really sees her. The woman who held his children. The woman who hummed lullabies when no one else heard. The woman who was there when he wasn't. Lucy doesn't say a word, but she walks forward. One slow step after another. She takes the empty seat beside the twins. Ava reaches for her hand. Adam leans into her side. And for the first time in years, Elias Kingsley closes his eyes and breathes. The morning after Christmas is quieter than snow. No staff in the halls. No suits. No silver. Only the hush of a house unsure of itself. Lucy wakes early. Not out of habit, but out of rhythm. She's used to rising before light. But this morning, she sits up slower. Something in the air has shifted. As if the walls are listening now. She touches the folded handkerchief on her nightstand. The one Ava gave back to her silently after dinner last night, with one gingerbread still inside. Unbitten but held. She holds it now, presses it to her chest, and breathes. Downstairs, the long table is cleared. No guests. No noise. Only Elias Kingsley, seated alone, reading something. A newspaper, maybe, but the way he stares, it's as if the words are falling apart before they reach him. Lucy enters the room softly, expecting him to ignore her like always. But he doesn't. He glances up. Sit, he says. Her body stills. He gestures to the chair across from him. I said sit. She does. Slowly. He doesn't speak. Neither does she. He simply watches her, as if seeing something that confuses him. You sang to them. It's not a question. It's a memory said aloud. Lucy nods, once. They were calm, he adds, voice low. Ava held your hand. She reached first, Lucy says gently. I just waited. He looks down at his untouched coffee. The steam curls like questions between them. Do you have children? He asks suddenly. She shakes her head. No, I helped raise my little sisters. Back when things were louder. Louder. My mother was a thunderstorm, she says, a sad smile ghosting her lips. But she knew how to cook joy into rice. And she always sang. Even when the lights were off. He nods once, slowly, then sets the cup down. You don't have to wear the apron today, he says. Lucy blinks. Sir, you heard me. She looks down at her uniform, the same plain gray she's worn every day since she arrived. You don't work today. You sit with them, the twins. Her breath catches. Why? Elias leans back, his face unreadable. They're smiling in their sleep, he says. I don't know what you did, but it's more than doctors have managed in years. I didn't do anything, she whispers. He studies her. That's exactly why I want you near them. Later that day, Lucy finds the twins on the back patio, wrapped in wool. The snow has stopped, but the sky is still a soft blue-gray, heavy with memory. Ava is curled up near a potted plant, watching a beetle crawl across the stone. Adam is staring at the trees, mouthing something soundless. Lucy joins them. No clipboard, no agenda, just her. She hums softly, and Ava lifts her head. They sit there for a long time, not moving. And then something happens. Adam reaches for her notebook, the one she keeps tucked in her apron. He opens it, turns the pages slowly. His finger lands on a tiny drawing, a bird perched on a branch. He taps it, taps again. Lucy blinks. You like that one? Tap. Bird. Adam doesn't speak, but he looks at her wide-eyed. Then he presses the page to his chest, holds it there. Ava crawls closer, looks too. Lucy flips to another page. A flower this time. Ava smiles. A smile. And then, as if by some unseen thread, Ava lays her head in Lucy's lap. Lucy's fingers shake. Not from fear, from awe. Because love never arrives loud. Creeps in quiet as breath. Inside, Elias stands behind the window watching them. He doesn't know what to do with what he sees. He hasn't felt this ache in years. Terrifies him. That night, he enters the children's room for the first time in months. They are asleep, arms draped over Lucy's sides like vines finding home. She sits in the rocking chair, humming a lullaby the children never heard from their own mother. She stops when he enters. "Don't," he says. "Don't stop." He walks toward the bookshelf and picks up a photograph. His late wife, her smile frozen in time, holding the twins when they were newborns. "She used to hum," he whispers. "But I never listened. I was always somewhere else." Lucy says nothing. "There's so much I missed," he adds. Lucy finally speaks. Her voice soft. Grief makes time slippery. He closes his eyes. The chair creaks. The wind outside howls. And for the first time, he doesn't feel the need to escape. He just stays. When Lucy looks at him, his hands are shaking. But he's still there. Still watching. Still listening. And in that tiny moment, the house breathes again. Not loud. Not all at once. But enough. Enough to mean something is waking up. It begins with warmth. Not the heat of a fireplace or a blanket, but something gentler. Breath on a window. Fingers brushing against curls. A hand reaching toward a hand and not being pulled away. Lucy is humming again. A different tune this morning. One her grandmother used to hum while twisting her hair under the tree behind their house. The kind of song that had no name, only feeling. The kind that lingered. Ava leans into her side on the couch. Adam is drawing now, slowly, messily, in the margins of her old notebook. Circles and clouds. A stick figure with arms outstretched. Lucy watches him. "You're doing amazing," she whispers, careful not to disturb the quiet magic of the moment. He doesn't answer. He never does. But when she reaches for the crayon and draws a sun in the corner, he doesn't pull away. And that, to her, is the loudest thank you she's ever heard. Outside the window, snow has hardened into ice. But inside, the house is softer. Still quiet, but no longer empty. Mr. Kingsley stays home that morning. No meetings. No press briefings. No conference calls behind tall doors. He walks through the house slowly, as if each room is foreign. He stands in the hallway near the study, watching Lucy and the children from a distance, the way a man might watch a dream he doesn't want to wake from. Later, he walks into the kitchen. Alone. The staff are gone for the week. Only him. And Lucy. She's humming again as she kneads dough with her sleeves rolled up. Hair tied back in a scarf. Flour smudged on her cheek like a badge of honor. He watches. Again. Silently. "Are you going to say something?" she says without turning. "I already did," he replies. "I didn't hear it. I came in." Lucy chuckles softly. He walks closer. "What's that song?" She shrugs. "I don't know the name. My grandma called it a healing hum. Said some things don't need words." He looks down. "I wouldn't know about that." There's a beat of silence. Then she asks, "Were you always this quiet?" He stiffens. "No." "Then what happened?" He doesn't answer. She doesn't press. Instead, she sets a second ball of dough in the tray. "I made enough for two." He sits, watches her work. After a while, he rolls his sleeves up, reaches for the flour. The moment hangs there, awkward, small, fragile. But it holds. They knead in silence, breathing in rhythm. The dough rises. So does something else. Something unspoken. Later that evening, Lucy brings out the photo album she found behind the piano. Dust-covered, leather-bound, forgotten. She shows it to the twins. Ava runs her finger over a photo of their mother, holding them in front of a cherry blossom tree. Adam taps the image. Again. And again. Then he holds the edge of the page with both hands and doesn't let go. Lucy watches the way they look at the picture, like they're trying to remember a dream. "They miss her," a voice says from behind. She turns. It's Elias. He's standing at the doorway again, like a man afraid of being too close to what hurts. "She used to dance with them," he adds, voice low. "In that room. Right there." He nods toward the parlor. Lucy looks toward the space. Large, empty, polished wood floors. They haven't danced since. Have you? He blinks. What? Danced? He almost laughs. No. She closes the book. You should, she says softly. You all should. That night, when the children are tucked in, Lucy stands alone in the parlor. She lights a single candle, takes off her shoes, and begins to move. Not a performance, not a show, just a slow, swaying rhythm. Hips gentle, arms like breeze, feet sliding over the floor like memory. Behind her, Ava appears. Then Adam, barefoot, curious. They copy her, clumsy at first, offbeat, but free. Then footsteps. Elias. He stands at the edge of the room, unsure. Lucy offers her hand. He hesitates. Then he takes it. One hand in hers. One hand on his heart. He doesn't know the steps, but she guides. And in the middle of a mansion built from grief and money and silence, a trillionaire and a maid dance slowly under candlelight, while two children laugh for the first time in years. Not loud, but enough. Enough to echo through the walls, to wake up rooms that have been asleep since the funeral. Enough to mean something is changing, something is healing, and no one needs to say it aloud, because the silence is no longer heavy, the sacred now. The next morning feels different, not warmer, not brighter, just kinder. The walls no longer echo with the ache of loneliness. They listen now, they hold. Lucy walks through the corridor with bare feet, her notebook tucked under one arm, a mug of ginger tea in the other. She doesn't rush. The house no longer demands it. She pauses by the children's door, hears the shuffle of little feet, a soft thud, a giggle. Ava is laughing, quiet, breathy but real. And Adam? He's humming. Not a tune, not clear, but he's trying. Lucy leans her head gently against the doorframe, closes her eyes. Thank you, she whispers inside. Not loud, just enough. Later, in the solarium, the three of them sit around a low table with paint jars scattered like jewels. Lucy holds the brush like a wand, swirls blue into white, makes clouds. Ava paints suns, 8 of them, each one with a different number of rays. Adam draws circles. When he finishes, he points. Lucy blinks. The circle has dots inside. 5 dots. Is this us? She asks. He doesn't answer, but he smiles. And that's answer enough. Across the house, Elias Kingsley stares at his phone. His assistant left 10 voicemails. The board is asking questions. A major tech partner is threatening to pull out of a joint deal if he doesn't fly to Zurich by the end of the week. He closes the phone, looks out the window, sees Lucy twirling slowly with Ava in the garden. Scarves flowing, bare arms catching winter light. He sees Adam pressing mud into his palms and laughing when Lucy gives him the serious face. Eyes wide, lips tight, a mock frown that never lasts. He sees joy, and he feels guilt, not because he's been absent, but because he doesn't want to leave. He steps outside. The cold nips his skin. Lucy looks up. You all right? I don't think so, he says. It's honest. Bro. She straightens. Come sit. He does. And for the first time, he sits not like a boss, but like a man. Adam brings him a rock, smooth and round. Elias holds it. You picked this. Adam nods. Why? Adam points at the table, then at Lucy, then shrugs. Elias stares at the rock. It's perfect, he says, and Adam beams. That night, Lucy finds a note outside her door. Folded, clean, no name. Just words. Can you stay? Not forever. Just through the week. She smiles. The next day, the snow falls heavier. A blizzard, they say. The estate is locked in, no cars, no guests, no deliveries. The world outside slows down. Inside, the fire crackles. Lucy makes stew in a pot too big for 4 people. But she makes it anyway. The children help. Ava stirs. Adam tastes. Elias sits at the kitchen island and watches them. Still not used to the way Lucy runs the kitchen like it's her own. Not controlling. Just inviting. She doesn't bark instructions. She offers space. You used to be a teacher? He asks, surprised by the order she creates out of chaos. Lucy shakes her head. No, just, I watched a lot of good women growing up. Church mamas, aunties. They taught me how to hold space, how to listen without interrupting. He nods slowly. You're good at that. She glances up. Most people don't hear the difference between noise and silence, but kids do, especially ones who've been hurt. She places bowls on the table. Ava brings napkins. Adam hums again. Elias looks around. It doesn't feel like a mansion anymore. Feels like a home. At dinner, they eat slowly. Elias puts his phone away. Lucy offers prayer, not loud, not formal. Just, thank you for warmth, for food, for laughter that surprises us. Ava reaches for Lucy's hand first. Adam reaches for Elias. He freezes, looks at Lucy. She nods. So he takes the hand, and something inside him trembles. After the children sleep, Elias walks Lucy to her room. They stop at the door. He doesn't speak. Neither does she. But the silence is full. Not romantic. Not tense. Just alive. He starts to turn, then pauses. Lucy. She lifts her eyes. I don't know how to say thank you for everything. She smiles. You just did. He walks away. She watches him disappear into the corridor shadows, then steps inside and falls to her knees. Not because she's tired, but because gratitude always pulls her down first. She whispers into the stillness. I see what you're doing. I won't rush it. Outside, the snow falls steady. Inside, the walls hold warmth. And somewhere deep in the house, a child laughs in their sleep. The storm doesn't let up. 3 days now. The snow has blanketed everything. Roads gone. Trees heavy. World still. Lucy doesn't mind. She moves through the house like breath. Soft. Necessary. She folds towels. Warms bottles of milk. Hums lullabies into walls that used to echo with cold. Elias watches. Not constantly, but enough. He lingers at the edges of rooms, as if afraid to break the spell. Every time he sees her with the children, brushing Ava's curls with oil and patience, or rubbing Adam's back when his breathing turns anxious, he wonders how long she's been here. It's only been 2 months, but it feels like she's always belonged. That afternoon, Ava won't stop pacing. Lucy kneels in the hallway. Baby girl, she says gently. What do you need? Ava doesn't speak. She never does. But her eyes are restless. Her hands flap at her sides. She's looking for something. Adam appears behind her. He's holding a book. Torn edges. Missing cover. He offers it to Lucy, who opens to the middle. Inside is a drawing. A child sketch, years old, of a woman in a headscarf, kneeling under a tree. Lucy blinks. It's their mother. Elias's voice comes from behind. He steps forward slowly, holding a frame in his hand. A photograph. Worn. Folded. The same image. She used to sit under the cherry tree and read to them, he says quietly. Ava was always moving. Couldn't sit still. But once her mother sang, she would stop. Every time. He hands the frame to Lucy. She would want you to have this. Lucy touches the corner of the glass. I can't take that. It's not a gift, he says. It's a bridge. Later that night, Elias enters the library, the one no one has touched in 3 years. Dust lies thick on every spine. Lucy is there. She's sorting books, humming, sleeves rolled up, hair wrapped. She looks up. Couldn't sleep. He shakes his head. The house feels loud. She smiles gently. It's not. You're just not used to hearing it breathe. He walks to the window, hands in his pockets. She died in this room. Lucy stills. She collapsed while reading. The children were playing near the fireplace. I was in Hong Kong. He doesn't cry, but something behind his eyes breaks. I buried her and locked the door. Lucy walks over, stands beside him. She wouldn't want it locked. I know. She'd want you in it. With them. He nods, but he doesn't move. Instead, he says, will you read? Lucy blinks. What? Sit. In the chair. Read something. He walks over and pulls the rocking chair forward. Lucy hesitates, then obeys. She finds a book on the nearby shelf, Winnie the Pooh, its corners bent from years of tiny hands. She opens the first page and reads. Soft, steady, warm. Elias sits on the floor beside her like a child. Ava enters first, barefoot in a nightgown, dragging a soft blanket. Adam comes next, thumb near his mouth, rubbing his ear. They curl at Lucy's feet and listen. Lucy continues reading until Ava falls asleep, her head on Elias's knee. Adam leans into Lucy's leg. And Elias? He just stares at them, at her. At this scene he never imagined seeing again. When Lucy closes the book, he whispers, "I don't know how you did this." She looks down. "I didn't do anything. I just stayed." That night, Elias doesn't return to his own wing. He sleeps on the couch in the children's room. When Lucy checks on them before dawn, she finds him curled with one arm draped over Adam's small frame. He doesn't stir when she tucks a blanket over them both. She whispers, "You're learning to stay too." In the morning, the storm finally ends. The sun glints against ice and glass. The world starts to wake up again. Phones buzz. Emails arrive. The outside world presses its hands back against the windows of the estate. But inside, everything feels different. Lucy makes breakfast with the children. Elias joins without a word. He butters toast, pours juice, helps wipe Ava's chin when she dribbles jam. And when Adam spills his cup, Elias doesn't flinch. He simply grabs a napkin and smiles. "You're okay." Lucy watches him. That sentence, "you're okay," echoes in the air. It doesn't belong to her voice anymore. It belongs to him, the man who never used to speak, the father who is learning. The silence is different now. It holds peace. It holds presence. It holds healing. And somewhere, in the corners of this once frozen house, warmth has found a home. The days stretch longer now, not in hours but in presence. Every moment inside the Kingsley estate begins to feel like it belongs to someone. Lucy wakes to laughter instead of alarms. She walks down the hallway and finds Ava already dressed. Sweater inside out, socks mismatched, but beaming. Adam is holding the bird feeder jar, waiting for her by the door. And Elias? He's in the garden, shoveling snow. By hand. No staff. No gardener. Just him and a wool coat too expensive for the task. Sleeves rolled up, breath clouding the air. Lucy opens the door, surprised. "You'll hurt your back," she calls gently. He glances over, panting. "I'm reclaiming it." She raises a brow. "The snow. The land," he says, smiling for the first time in years. "I built this house for a family, then filled it with silence." He throws another scoop aside. "I'm tired of being alone in a house full of people." She steps outside with the children. Ava runs ahead, chasing a squirrel. Adam crunches snow under his boots, hands in his coat. Elias pauses, shovel in hand. "Stay for dinner again tonight," he says. Lucy smiles. "I haven't left." He nods, eyes softening. Inside, the table is smaller now. No 20-seat feasts. No loud guests. Just 4 plates. And peace. Lucy cooks. Elias sets the table. The children help carry napkins like they're made of gold. Over soup and soft bread they talk. Not a lot, but enough. "Where did you grow up?" Elias asks quietly. Lucy takes a sip before answering. "Bakersfield. Small town. Big family." "You ever think about leaving?" She nods. "Every day. Until I realized home isn't always where you start. Sometimes it's where you end up healing." He studies her. "I didn't know that." She meets his gaze. "You do now." After dinner, they sit in the library. Ava flips through a picture book, humming softly. Adam draws again, this time, 2 big figures holding hands with 2 smaller ones between them. Elias watches over his shoulder. "Is that us?" Adam doesn't answer, but he grins. And for Elias, that's louder than any word could be. He places a hand gently on Adam's back. No flinch, no pull away, just warmth. When the fire dies down, Lucy starts to rise. but Ava tugs at her sleeve. Stay, the girl whispers. A sound. A real sound. Not loud, but full. Elias hears it too. He freezes. Looks at Lucy. Her eyes are already filled with tears. She crouches down, holding Ava's face gently. You said that, she whispers. Ava nods. Again, Lucy begs softly, brushing the child's curls aside. Ava hesitates, then murmurs, Stay. Elias covers his mouth. His knees nearly give. He turns away, but Lucy rises and steps toward him. She spoke. He nods, barely breathing. I heard her. She trusts now, Lucy says. She feels safe. Elias looks at her. His voice shakes. What did you do to them? I didn't do anything, she replies. I just loved them where they were. He stares into her eyes. And me? Lucy doesn't blink. You're still learning how to be loved without earning it. He turns away, ashamed. I'm not a good man. You're becoming one. He closes his eyes. That night, while tucking Ava in, she reaches for his wrist and speaks again. Dada. Elias falls to his knees. He weeps beside her bed, not because she spoke, but because he didn't expect to deserve it. Lucy watches from the doorway, hands clasped, eyes full. She doesn't interrupt. This is holy ground now. The next morning, Elias calls his assistant. Cancel the Zurich flight, he says. But sir, I said cancel it. My children need me. He hangs up before the rebuttal. He stands in front of the mirror in his study, adjusts his tie, then removes it. He walks downstairs to the garden where Lucy is pruning the rosemary bush. She turns. He smiles. I'm not going anywhere, he says. Lucy tilts her head, unsure. I'm not letting fear run this house anymore, he adds. Or money. Or memory. He breathes. I want to stay. She doesn't answer, but her smile says enough. That night he builds a fire himself, reads aloud to the children, and for the first time in his life Elias Kingsley sings. Off-key, soft, but he sings the lullaby Lucy always hums, broken melody and all. The children sway. Lucy watches from the corner, a tear sliding down her cheek, not for the song, but for the man who never used to hear it, now singing it back. The mornings come softer now. They no longer feel like recovery from something cold. They feel like invitation. Sunlight filters through the nursery window, painting gold across the carpet where Ava lies curled in a quilt, whispering quiet sounds to herself, syllables she's learning to trust. Her lips move like she's tasting words, one by one. Adam is already up, drawing again. This time, the paper shows 5 figures. Same shapes as before, but now, there's color. Yellow around the small ones, blue around the tall man, and red, bright and warm, around the woman in the middle. Lucy. Downstairs, Elias moves through the kitchen in a sweater instead of a suit. He chops apples into small cubes, adds cinnamon, tries to hum the lullaby again. It's offbeat, clumsy, but real. Lucy watches from the entryway. You're humming in B-flat, she says, smiling. He turns, eyebrows raised. Is that good? It's brave. She walks in, brushes flour from the table, begins kneading dough beside him. For a moment they don't speak. Only their hands move. Only the son speaks. Then Elias says, I was afraid you'd leave. Why? Because this is starting to feel like something I don't want to lose. Lucy keeps kneading. That's how you know it's worth staying for. He exhales. When this storm clears, when the world calls again, what do I do? She looks at him gently. You answer from a different place. He nods. And then, quietly, stay for Christmas Day. She meets his eyes. I already was. That evening, the snow begins to melt. Not all of it, just the edges. The world beyond the gates is stirring again. Elias receives a package. Inside, a polished document, a leather-bound contract, a gold-tipped pen, a merger agreement worth $1.7 billion. He reads it, studies the margins. Then he burns it. The fire eats through numbers and signatures. And for the first time in his life, Elias Kingsley chooses people over paper. He walks into the living room to find Lucy on the floor with the children, Ava building towers with blocks, Adam organizing his colored pencils in perfect lines. He sits beside them, cross-legged, no distance. Ava leans her head on his shoulder. Adam holds his hand. Lucy doesn't speak. She just watches. This right here is what she prayed for. Not riches, not romance, just a man remembering how to be a father. That night, Elias finds her in the hallway. She's cleaning the baseboard. Quiet, focused. He crouches down beside her, takes the cloth. "I've got this." She looks up. "I wasn't asking." "I know." He wipes slowly, then adds, "I want you here, not as the maid, not just for the children." He doesn't say more. He doesn't have to. Lucy stands. "Then see me." "I do. Not as someone who saved your house. I see you. Not as someone filling her place. I see you, Lucy." She closes her eyes. One tear slips. "Then you know I won't stay where I'm just useful." "You're not," he says. "You're family." The word lands like a bell toll. Not loud, but final and freeing. Christmas morning arrives. The tree is smaller than the usual Kingsley grandeur. No professional decorator. Just ribbons and ornaments made by little hands. Hand-drawn angels. Painted pine cones. A paper star taped to the top. Lucy stands beside Elias, watching the children unwrap gifts. Ava squeals when she finds the handmade doll with brown skin and matching beads. Adam hugs the journal, blank pages, just waiting for his crayons. Elias turns to Lucy. "I got you something," he says softly. She blinks. "You didn't have to." "I know." He hands her a small box. Inside, a simple necklace. Gold chain. No diamonds. Just a single round pendant. Etched in tiny letters. Chosen. Not hired. Her hand covers her mouth. "I saw it in a shop months ago," he whispers. "Didn't know why I bought it then. I do now." Lucy nods slowly. "I don't need gifts." He leans closer. "This isn't a gift. It's a declaration." She looks at him. Not with surprise, but with the softness of someone who saw it coming long before he did. Ava walks over and tugs Lucy's hand. "Can we dance?" Lucy kneels down. "You remember the steps?" Ava giggles. "No, but I want to try." Lucy looks up at Elias. He's already extending his hand. And so, in the middle of a room once filled with echoes, for souls dance. Not to music, but to breath, to presence, to trust. Outside, the last of the snow melts from the windows. Inside, spring begins early. Not in the air, but in the heart. Christmas night falls gently. There's no noise, no fireworks, no clinking of champagne glasses or echo of high society voices. Just hush. The kind of hush that carries weight. The kind that feels holy. The house is dim, not dark. Lit by candles on the stairs and golden threads from the tree lights. Shadows dance softly across the walls, not in fear, but in comfort. Lucy sits in the armchair by the fire. Ava is curled against her chest. Adam lies stretched out on the floor with his head resting on Elias's knee. Elias strokes the boy's curls without thinking, his hand moving slowly, rhythmically. Nobody speaks. They don't need to. They are full. Outside, snow returns. Light, silent. A reminder that the world still turns. But in this house that once felt like a mausoleum dressed in glass and money, there is breath. Lucy whispers something into Ava's hair. A hum follows. Not a lullaby, but something else. Something deeper. It's the same tune Elias tried to learn. This time he hums with her. The two voices blend, imperfectly, unevenly, but together. Adam hums too. Then Ava. It becomes a hum of four. A room humming. A home remembering how to love. Later, Lucy stands in the hallway near the staircase. She stares at a framed photo, the one Elias placed back on the wall yesterday. His late wife, smiling wide, holding both twins in a picnic blanket under a tree. Elias joins her. He doesn't speak at first, just stands beside her, hands in pockets. She would have liked you, he finally says. Lucy nods. I think I would have liked her too. She was strong, kind, loud. He chuckles. You're different, but you carry the same weight. The good kind. The kind that steadies a room. Lucy looks at him. You carry it too now. He looks away. Took long enough. You came back, she says. That's all that matters. They walk down the hall slowly. When they reach the kitchen, the children are there, barefoot, each holding a folded blanket. Campfire night? Lucy asks. Ava nods eagerly. Elias raises an eyebrow. We don't even have marshmallows. Adam disappears, then returns a moment later holding four slightly squished ones in his palm. Lucy laughs. A real laugh this time, not just a breathy smile. Elias takes the marshmallows. That's my boy. They build a small campfire on the hearth. Not real flames, but battery candles surrounded by pillows and pretend logs made of rolled towels. They sit around it, sharing made-up stories about dragons who only speak in whispers, trees that cry when hugged too tightly, and houses that forget how to sing until someone knocks gently enough. Ava lays her head in Lucy's lap. Adam leans against his father. Elias speaks slowly. You've changed this place. Lucy doesn't respond. I didn't realize how much grief can build walls, he adds. You tore them down without swinging once. She touches Ava's cheek. I didn't come to fix. I just came to stay. He looks at her, eyes glassy. I need you to stay. I'm here. No, I mean, she puts a hand on his. You're not asking me to be a maid anymore. He shakes his head. No, you're asking me to be family. Yes. And what do the children say? Adam looks up. Mama, he whispers. Elias covers his mouth. Ava says it next, quieter like a snowflake. Mama. Lucy closes her eyes. She tries not to cry. Fails. When she opens them, Elias is crying too. And not ashamed of it. The next morning, the sun rises over the Kingsley estate. Light pours through the windows like a benediction. Lucy is in the garden, trimming the rosemary bush again. Elias walks up behind her. No suit, no walls. He hands her a cup of tea. Board's meeting today, he says. You going? He nods. But only for a few hours. Why? He smiles. Because it's just the board. I don't live there. I live here. She smiles back. That afternoon, before he leaves, the children wave at him from the front steps. He kisses both their foreheads. Then he looks at Lucy. Will you be here when I get back? She tilts her head. I told you, she says. I'm not going anywhere. He nods, then gets into the car. And as it pulls away, he watches her standing there. Not as help, not as a guest, as home.